Today we got the case of Dylan Redwine. Sorry if I'm botching that name. Let's get it started.
This is Dr. Phil. He's confronting the father of a missing child, upset about how his son's case was handled on the show.
Are you kidding me? I devoted 2 hours of national television time to try to find your son, and you won't do one damn thing to help.
For 3 months, Mark Redwine refused to collaborate in this search effort to find Dylan.
Dad did
I
it.
am here to find
Dad
your
did it.
son. And I frankly don't give a damn whether you like me or my television show. I care whether or not we find this boy. And if you've got information
He
about
did
where
it.
that boy is, you need to tell us.
24 hours earlier, Dr. Phil interviewed Dylan's mother, Elaine, and his brother, Corey. They too seemed to be convinced Mark was hiding something.
No one can find him. You were the last one to see him, and now he's just gone.
I strongly think that he's involved.
Yeah, he's
How
involved.
dare you point the fingers at somebody when you have no proof?
Little did Mark know that this footage would be used as evidence by the FBI 10 years from now.
Boy, I just struggle with this whole thing.
Do you know how many fathers with missing sons have ever refused to take a polygraph? Do you know how many have done what you've done?
That's crazy.
0. You, Mark, you're it.
February 26, 2013.
What?
Elaine and Mark are on the set of the Dr. Phil show. Their son Dylan disappeared 3 months ago, and the divorced couple haven't talked since.
Well, Dylan's mother, Elaine, says nothing her ex-husband, Mark, says adds up, and his explanations seem suspicious.
Mark claims that on November 19th, he left home early to return around 11 a.m. Inside, he noticed that the TV was on Nickelodeon and that Dylan's backpack and fishing pole were missing.
Mark talks about his backpack and a fishing pole. Dylan is not a big fisher person. Dylan was not watching Nickelodeon. Dylan watched
Dylan's a kid.
MTV. He doesn't know his kid well enough to make up a good lie.
So your
Bruh.
son has been missing for 3 months,
Mom know his best.
and his mother and
Moms
father
know
have
us
not
best.
talked.
Dr. Phil, I'd like to make a comment. I personally have a lot of suspicions that Elaine could be involved in this, but I don't have
What?
anything to back that up, and I don't have anything to support that.
Corey's gonna say
Mark
that.
continued by accusing Elaine of being the mastermind behind
Even
the
though he was the last person to be seen with them.
and conspiracy to kidnap Dylan.
Do you honestly believe that she and a team abducted him? I was trained as a forensic psychologist, and I'm curious whether you're interested in fighting with her or if you're interested in finding your son. Because since you've been
Ooh.
out here, you haven't said one word about your son.
Dr.
He's
Phil
just trying to
wasn't the only
deflect
one
everything.
thinking something was wrong. Behind the scenes, Dylan's brother Corey, who led the search effort, also
Aw,
began investigating on
That's
his own.
fucked up.
At only 16, Corey was convinced he could still save him before it was too late.
Damn.
It's my little brother. If anybody can
I
make it
feel
out, it'd
bad
be
for
him.
him.
We were not going to stop until we found the sick bastard that did that to my little brother.
Oh.
I had a crazy idea. We were surprised that no one had done it before.
Success?
Only to find out
Before
it's
we
your
begin,
fucking
we have a
dad.
task for you.
Fucking-
Have you
Ooh,
ever
I'd be
Googled your
pissed.
own name? In less than a minute, and accurate detention search, track security, or stolen people, you'd be happy to know that Aura is
I'm a-
Basic with
and 3 months ago. Thanksgiving was
All right, 3
approaching.
months ago,
and
one
the
day
family
before.
court granted Mark holiday visitation from his youngest son, Dylan.
We
Okay.
did not want to go. My mom was
Aw.
pretty sick with cancer, and we knew it would probably be her last Thanksgiving, and Dylan really wanted to spend it with my mom. I called
Damn.
my lawyer and, said, what can I do? And she said, really nothing. It's a court order. You really need to put him on the plane.
Immediately after landing,
Sucks.
Dylan started texting his friend Ryan. From his cell phone records, we see that Mark refused to let his son meet with his friend that evening, so Dylan planned to see him the next day, unusually early, at 6:30 a.m.
6
So Dylan's
a.m.
already asserting himself to say he's there on a mandated visit, but he doesn't want to spend time with Dad.
The following day, Ryan woke up early and waited for Dylan to arrive, but he never showed up. Dylan wasn't seen by anyone during the entirety of the day. Later, in the
Oh.
evening, Mark texted Elaine to ask her if she had heard from him. The distressed mother didn't lose a minute and immediately called the police to declare Dylan missing.
Police fire dispatch. Hi, my name is Elaine Redwine, and my son Dylan Redwine was visiting his dad up in Durango, and his dad texted me a little while ago and said he could not find Dylan.
My son wasn't even there for 24 hours and he's missing.
That's crazy.
First, I didn't
Not even
take her seriously. And she was like, well, I'm going down to Durango. As soon
not
as she
even
said
24
that,
hours.
I knew it was a lot more serious.
Search for missing Colorado.
In Durango, a search effort was immediately launched by Roy Vreeland, the local fire chief.
It's rugged country. It's some of the ruggedest country.
Not
in
even
North
24
America.
hours.
And my
That's just
concern
crazy.
was the weather for that night was supposed to go below freezing.
Even before Elaine and Corey reached town, the search unit already began
That's right.
suspecting Mark.
Oh, I
They
would
knew
have too.
nothing about him or Dylan, but something seemed wrong from day one.
I wound up being out till 12:30, 1 o'clock that night.
That's
And
right.
One of the notable things that I saw is that Mark never came out, never talked to me, and he wound up turning all the lights off in his house like he went to bed, which is very unusual.
The fuck?
Usually somebody would light up the house like a beacon.
Mark's suspicious behavior continued throughout the rest of the search. For 3 months, he refused to participate in the effort, blocked Elaine and Corey's phones, and rebuffed news crews who were at his doorstep every single day. At some point, the locals even organized a protest in front of his
Damn.
house, seeking answers.
Corey's getting ready to do another interview.
He was the last person to see him, and he's not, helping out with giving us answers that we
crazy.
have
Not even
questions
helping
to.
out.
So until we can put all of the attention back on Dylan, we got to get it off the last person to see Dylan. And he's making it as hard as he can to get the attention off of him.
At this point, the area being searched was closed for the winter. As the family's hope diminished, their resentment against Mark grew, culminating in a heated argument on Dr. Phil's set.
That's crazy that they got on the Dr.
I think
Phil set.
Mark
with
has
this.
something to do with it. I strongly think that he's involved.
Why?
He hasn't done a single thing since Dylan has been gone.
Why do you say that? What has he not done?
He
hasn't even
been
searched.
to any of the benefits. He wasn't there for Dylan's birthday vigil.
What?
He hasn't helped at all with the Find Missing Dylan Redwine Fund.
That's offensive to you.
Very.
And you
That is
don't
offensive.
even care. You don't. Where is any of your feelings?
What emotion is it you're trying to get out of me?
I want you to do something to find Dylan.
Throughout the episode, Corey paints his father
Why is he
as
acting
absent
like that though? Like, what the fuck?
and neglectful, while Mark
Who is
tries to
cold?
discredit him entirely.
Dylan didn't really look up to Mark. They had a relationship, but it was never what Dylan had wanted. It was always what Mark had
You're
wanted.
being very disrespectful, and I believe that everything that's coming out of your mouth is perpetuated by
I
your
have my
You
own
see?
mouth. I can say
Then
my
use
own
it.
words.
Then use it.
I am at you. I don't like you. I hate you. And
That's right.
you have been nothing of a father.
You say he has clear motivation. What do you mean?
A few months before his disappearance, Dylan stumbled upon a hidden folder while using his father's laptop. It contained dozens of pictures of Mark doing something so graphic and disturbing that we won't be showing them here.
The
Pause.
photo's genuine.
No, they are not.
Dylan's sitting on the bed and he's like, Corey, look at these.
No, that's crazy. Corey, bro. Look at what I just found about Dad. That's crazy. Nah, that's crazy. Those pictures are crazy.
Pictures, and it horrified me and Dylan.
The images that I have seen have been photoshopped.
Photoshop.
No, it's not me in the photos. Absolutely not.
When the snow finally thawed in the mountains surrounding Durango, the search for Dylan was resumed. Around that time, Mark broke his silence and contacted Tonya Goldbright, the investigator in charge of the case.
Mark said that when he was moving his four-wheeler out of the garage, he found the fishing pole in the garage, which isn't possible. It had been searched and photographed, and I don't know where it came from, but it was back.
For
He put
months,
it there.
the search had focused on the lake close to Mark's house. The authorities couldn't help but believe he had been dishonest with them all
for
along,
sure.
pushing for the search to be
I know.
conducted in the wrong place to ensure no one found Dylan. Following this revelation, Corey and his stepfather started following Mark and investigating on their own, hoping they could prove he had misled the search effort.
For sure.
Quitting nicotine.
My stepfather caught him up on the mountain early one morning.
That's
And I got the
right.
call that Mark was just sighted coming off Middle Mountain Road, and that's what turned our attention to Middle Mountain Road.
The minute the mountain
Big
opened,
bro wasn't giving
that's
up.
really where the big search started.
At this point, Dylan had been missing for over 7 months, but Elaine and Corey refused to lose hope.
That's right.
You think he's still alive?
Oh, I have to hope for Dylan. I mean, I'm his mom. I can't focus. There's no reason to believe he's not. And so I will always hope for Dylan. We need you home, and we will bring you home, no matter what it takes. We are looking for you, and you need to stay strong with us. We need to stay strong together. We always tried to keep hope because I felt if I lost hope, then everybody else would as well. But as a mom, in the back of your mind that it's not going to end good.
No.
Sadly, Elaine's gut feeling was right. Not even a week after they started scouring the mountain, their search team made a grim discovery.
Damn.
The search for missing Colorado teen Dylan Redwine has come to an end, and it's not the end anyone was hoping for.
Oh, just sadness. How could you do this to him? I can still hear his laugh. This is so ironic because he truly cared about other people, more so than himself. I know he would have done many great things in his life, and the world is a much better place. Even for the 13 years that he was here, he really touched a lot of people, and he continues to do so, even through his death.
When something like this happens, you just think of all the good times. And there's so many, it's hard waking up and not having that right spot in my heart.
As hard as it is to come to the understanding that that's what we found, we still found it.
A shirt, a sock, a shoe, and most importantly, 4 leg bones were found by Middle Mountain Road, not even a mile away from where Elaine's husband saw Mark the week before. The police still had nothing substantial on him, but their suspicions reached new heights after this discovery.
This is investigator Tanya Galbright. This is a phone call to Mark Redwine.
This is Mark.
Hey Mark, it's Tanya.
We found a body.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, I'm living the dream, the dream.
Are you intoxicated, Mark?
Nope, not at all.
Okay, then why are you talking to me like that?
Because you can't seem to think no deeper than the surface.
He told me to pull my head out of the sociopath's ass, and that women are only good for one thing, and it's not cooking and cleaning.
Because I'll be honest with you, Tanya, I don't think you're capable of handling a situation.
Really? Don't you think it's pretty amazing we found any remains up on Middle Mountain? In the middle of nowhere?
2% of Dylan's remains does not constitute him being found. So, you know what?
Yes, it does. He's dead. We know that now. If we hadn't gone up there and looked, we wouldn't have known that.
So 2% of Dylan's remains constitutes him being found.
Dude, he's sick. What the fuck?
But yes, we know what happened. We know he's no longer with us.
This time, investigators say
Now on a mission to find the truth about Mark, Tonya rewatched the Dr. Phil episode in which he, Corey, and Elaine appeared. She was mainly looking for a motive, but ended up finding much more.
Did you take a polygraph in this matter? Did the police ask you to take a polygraph?
They did.
And what were the results?
Well, there's been some conflict as to what the actual results are. They told me that I failed it. Then they told me it was inconclusive.
Tonya knew about Mark's failed polygraph test, but law enforcement usually uses such tests to establish suspicions and nothing more, since they cannot be used as evidence in a courtroom. However, in a special backstage segment aired on another date, Mark returned to the studio after Dr. Phil asked him to take a second test to eliminate him as a suspect once and for all. He was hesitant at first, but eventually accepted.
No way.
So yesterday, Mark was agitated.
No way.
He had time to rest and process things. He said he wasn't opposed to taking the test. He just didn't want to feel pressured. I want him to be totally comfortable. This is about getting real answers. So despite waiting, I invited Mark to come here to Paramount to meet Jack Tremarco for
That's
an 8 a.m.
crazy.
polygraph
What
test.
the
It's my
fuck?
understanding that Mark's here now. I'm set up. I'm just
Can't
about
make this
ready
shit
for him.
up.
So if he's going to take this test, we'll just get it done.
A former
Let's do
FBI
it.
agent.
I'll ask the camera to give us some privacy, and we should be done in about an hour and a half.
20 minutes into the test, Mark asked to be let go.
Mark
No.
decided that he didn't feel well enough to take the
All of a sudden.
polygraph test. He told me he had about 3 hours of sleep last night.
All of a
and,
sudden,
he had
what
a
is
half
that?
bottle of Jim Beam on top of things. So he doesn't feel well enough to take the test.
Oh,
At the
yeah,
time,
he did it.
everyone believed Dylan might still be out there, and both Dr. Phil and Jack Tremarco couldn't believe Mark refused to help the case
Dude,
by
that's
taking the test.
crazy.
You should be doing backflips right now to take this polygraph test. You were the last person to have seen your son before he disappeared.
Well, and I don't believe that.
This man's done 3,500 polygraphs. You know how many fathers with missing sons have ever refused to take a polygraph? In all of his years of doing polygraph work, you know how many have done what you've done?
0.
0. You, Mark, you're it.
Tonya now had confirmation that Mark was deceptive. Not
Mhm.
only did he fail his first test, he also refused to take a second one. Even though she still had no proof, she was now convinced he was the culprit, and she wasn't alone. In the last few minutes of the
Dude,
segment,
the fact that this dude was probably like proud of this.
Dr. Phil completely snapped at
is
Dylan's
sickening.
father in a display of anger.
Killed your
really
own son.
seen
Not nobody you didn't know.
about his long television career.
And I read some of the stuff you said about you don't think that we gave enough attention to finding Dylan yesterday. Are you kidding me?
He's like, what have you
I devoted
done?
2 hours of national television
Bro doesn't even want to take a
time
polygraph
to try to
test.
find your son. You won't do one
See?
damn thing to help. And you want to criticize what we're doing? I am here to find your son. And I frankly don't give a damn whether you like me or my television show. I care whether or not we find this boy. And if you've got information about where that boy is, you need to tell us. Do you know where he is?
No, I don't.
If you're innocent, we're the best friends you ever found.
Boy, I just struggle with this whole thing.
During the next
What is
2
the
years,
struggle?
Tonya used up all of her office's resources in an effort to gather the clues she was missing to charge Mark. After the bones were discovered, she even got a warrant to bring a CSI team to his house. But all of this was cut short when a hiker stumbled upon a teenager's skull, showing signs of blunt force trauma on Middle Mountain.
When I laid eyes on that skull, I knew in my heart it was Dylan. There was no question. I had no question about it.
Forensic experts
Damn.
identified the skull as being Dylan's. This, once again, contradicted Mark's claims, who recently pushed the theory that his son might have been mistakenly shot by a hunter.
Is it possible that if he was up getting away from things or whatever and wandered off into the woods far enough, that somebody mistaked him for an animal and shot him?
Working through the
There's no
This
way.
didn't seem right to Christian Champagne, the deputy DA who had been helping Tonya behind the scenes for all these years.
the fact that he had tried to use this ploy, just indicated that he was
He's already
being
trying to
very
look for an out.
dishonest with law enforcement.
Investigators saying the 13-year-old was murdered.
Not only did Dylan's case go from death under suspicious circumstances to homicide, but Mark was labeled as a person of interest for the very first time since his son's disappearance.
And that was in 15. I thought, okay, now we're going to move forward. And again, we still didn't move forward. So in 2017, a lot of stuff changed in La Plata County.
Deputy Champagne was elected as the county's next district attorney. Suddenly, one of the only men who still believed the case could be solved was in charge. Tonya and Christian had been gathering evidence for almost 5 years at that point. Without waiting, the new DA pushed the case to the very top of the county's priority.
The new DA just pressed forward and said, we're going to get a grand jury and let's see what a grand jury says.
And I just told them to stick with us. It was going to be a long road.
it was going to take a while, but that we were going to get to justice
I
for
hate how
Dylan.
that shit takes a
Right then
while.
and there, the grand jury indicted Mark of second-degree murder and child abuse. A warrant for his arrest was issued, and he was stopped by police on a Washington state highway that very same day.
Boom.
He had become pretty confident that
Oh, yeah,
we
he
were
was
never going to
confident.
bring charges against him, that we had never developed any evidence against him.
Yeah, he was
So
confident.
he thought he was off the hook. Never developed any evidence against him, that we were never going to bring charges against him, that we had never developed any evidence against him. So he thought he was off the hook.
A warrant for murder second for you.
He was, I think, shocked and surprised.
I felt it was about damn time.
In the state of Colorado, first-degree murder requires premeditation, and the prosecution couldn't prove that Mark planned to kill Dylan. On the contrary, Tonya and Christian agreed that the murder of Dylan happened in reaction to a very specific event that occurred a few months before his disappearance, Dylan and Corey's discovery of their father's disturbing secret.
You're talking about a 13-year-old who allegedly discovers some compromising photographs of his father, some bizarre, fetish, disgusting type
Dude, that's
photos.
crazy.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far.
At the
He ends
trial,
up killing
Elaine was
him
asked
because
to
of
read
that.
the last few texts she and Dylan exchanged before his disappearance.
I've seen those a million times.
What are those?
How's it going, son? Are you okay, Dylan? Please be safe. Mom, is
But even after 9 years, the mother could barely look at them without
Yeah.
breaking down crying. To add insult to injury, the defense cross-examination attempted to demolish her character in front of the jury because she pushed Mark forward as a suspect on Dr. Phil.
Oh, they
I've always
knew
said
though.
that I believe that he had a hand in Dylan's disappearance.
Okay, and you've told that to a lot of people.
Okay, sure. I mean,
You don't have to go anymore. They know your answer.
You know, you're talking about the grieving mother of a lost child, a murdered child, and to try to attack her and trash her character, I think really
Deadass.
fell flat.
But the key
It's
witness at the
pathetic.
trial was Corey, who, for years now, kept the full story behind the pictures hidden so that Champagne could use it at the trial.
Do you love your father?
Fuck
Yes.
no.
How do you feel about it?
I still love him. I wish I didn't have to be here.
Was there a point in time when Dylan used the defendant's computer?
Yes.
Did he find something on the computer?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury what he found?
We'll spare you the details, and we strongly discourage you from looking for yourself. But the pictures of Mark are truly horrible. A nightmare for the mind of a 13-year-old boy,
Dude, that
and
is.
even for Corey, who was 16 at the time.
It's a place my mind never dreamed of going, let alone seeing
That's
it,
disgusting.
you know, in my own father, you know, so I told Dylan after we saw the pictures, you know, we got to keep this between me and you.
But 9 years ago, on the night of November 18th, Dylan's frustration got the better of him. As
What?
he kept fighting with Mark, he texted Corey into the evening, keeping him in the loop as his father's rage unfolded.
They had gotten into an argument about me and my mom being a good example for Dylan, and he didn't like to be quieted. So if he felt a certain way, he would make sure that you knew how he felt. He was just honest and to the point.
No. Hey, bro, how was your flight? Hey, send me those poop pics of Papa. Because he gave me a speech about you guys being a... That's crazy.
I could feel the frustration and the fire in Dylan. Dylan wanted those pictures to show Mark what we had seen him as.
The defense immediately tried to stop Corey from telling any further, claiming that the pictures were
way.
photoshopped and that Mark had nothing to do with them. Champagne knew this was
Did
coming
Corey
and
actually
showed a
send
clip
him
from
those?
Dr. Phil, filmed 9 years ago, in which the television host got Mark to admit that the pictures were real.
Absolutely not.
No way.
You're saying they broke into your house and fabricated these pictures?
No. I fabricated the pictures and left them available.
Was there any reason back then for him to plant photos like that for you or for Dylan?
No.
Elaine and Corey are convinced that Dylan didn't intend to hurt his father's feelings, but simply wished to prove his point. In the same vein, Champagne didn't show the pictures to the jury to tarnish Mark's character or add some shock value to his trial. On the contrary, just like Dylan 9 years ago, he needed to make his case.
We showed them for a very specific and limited purpose, which is to show that there was conflict and a potential motive for Mark to lash out against Dylan.
Now that the motive had been established, Champagne turned to the physical evidence Tonya Goldbright had amassed over the years.
The jury wants to see hard evidence that this man killed his son.
In the middle of the courtroom, the prosecutor brought the actual blood-soaked pieces of furniture and floorboard the police collected during their last visit to Mark back in 2015.
They could see the layout, they could see the distances, and they could see the actual pieces of evidence. There was blood on the couches, there was blood on the floor, there was blood on the coffee table. 100% Dylan Redwine's blood.
Damn.
After 6 hours of deliberation, the jury found Mark Redwine guilty on all counts.
Got
I
him.
have trouble remembering a convicted criminal defendant that has shown such an utter lack of remorse.
Corey
never
was the
showed
last person
remorse
to step
at
up to the
all.
bar, delivering a short but impactful statement.
I can't bring Dylan back. I can only remember him, and I can't change that. But what I can do is tell the world how a 13-year-old young man stood up to his then 50-year-old father and said all the things I regret never saying. Dylan is my hero and became more of a man in 13 years than Mark has in 60. I'm so proud of Dylan and what he stood for. Dylan's name will run through our family forever, and his stories will be shared by all who loved him.
To celebrate the end of their legal battle, Dr. Phil invited Elaine and Corey back to his show in 2022.
Well, I'm here with Elaine and her son Corey, who are
That is
very
crazy.
special returning guests. And we really had a common goal, and that was finding out what happened to their precious son and brother, Dylan. Now, today, almost 10 years later, we know that Dylan's
Damn.
father, Mark Redwine, who sat right here on this stage and denied knowing anything, was eventually convicted of killing Dylan. He's been sentenced to 48 years in prison because he was found guilty of second-degree murder and child abuse. If you guys hadn't pushed, I don't believe he would have been held to account.
I was not going to let that happen.
Yet those long years of struggle didn't only bring sorrow to the family. Instead, Corey matured and grew from it. Today, he has his own family and tries to inspire others to overcome their grief and even find strength from it.
Dylan was my best friend. All of the grief, that I felt has just been motivation for me. Now I'm a father myself. I'm so thankful for them and my wife being in my life, sharing it together.
When I look at Corey as a father, I feel very blessed.
Coming from the father that I had showed me all the things I didn't want to be as a father.
However, the most poignant showing of Elaine and Corey's courage came from the interview they gave to the press minutes after the sentencing. They talked about Mark, the case, and their battle for justice, but one question in particular truly showed their unwavering determination to honor and celebrate Dylan's short but impactful life.
And can you tell me how you would like people to remember Dylan?
Everybody that knows Dylan knows how to remember him. He really brought a lot of joy into everybody's life, and he's unforgettable.
I'll remember Dylan for what he was when he was alive, how bright and how powerful he was as a young child. These 9 years have been focused on his death, and it's a complete misrepresentation of who Dylan really was. So our family will do everything we can to keep who he was as a person in the forefront of our minds and try to live our best life for him and make him proud of us.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Fuck Mark.
Bye, have a great time.